Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. Today we're discussing, of course, basketball news. We have the NBA and NBA, of course, discussing some top topics, of course. As you guys know, the NBA is still not fully here yet. They haven't started a little training camp and practices stuff yet, but I'll start that up in a little bit. I'm gonna discuss a player, a guy who you guys know very well. Discuss some landing spots for him. But first, let's start off with the NBA MVP race. As you guys know, the race has dwindled down to just 4 players now. At first, it was just 1 player. I won't say dwindle down, actually. I think I'm gonna say expand to 4 players. At first, it was 1 player. HeatCulture was kind of like the solidified MVP for a little time, like that, over half the season. But we knew other people who had good stats as well. But the team records does play a part in some of the things and aspects. So you start seeing A'ja Wilson, what she's doing right now, and the way the Aces are leading themselves and getting back to being one of those top level teams. And I believe they're the 3rd seed right now, if I'm not mistaken. They're 2nd or 3rd seed. They're playing some very good basketball. Went out there on a big time win streak and doing their thing, of course, as well, and getting themselves surged back into like the contender spot by doing that big win streak they had, of course. And you get hot and late in the season, it helps out a lot. So you have that. You have the Atlanta Dream, been playing very consistent all year, of course, as well. But Allisha Gray leading the charge as well, playing one of her best seasons of her career as well. And then you have, of course, Alyssa Thomas, my Phoenix Mercury. Alyssa Thomas out there, the triple-double machine. She broke another triple-double record, which is her own record that she broke before, which is another record that she had as well. Broke her record 3 times. So go out there and do that is phenomenal. Walking triple-double out there. And then you got, of course, the HeatCulture, like I mentioned earlier, the 2-way star, just like A'ja Wilson, 2-way star, dominating. And the Lynx, of course, still the 1st seed. Now it comes down to who's going to be the MVP. Who's going to be? And now, and I always say 2 things, the way teams look at MVPs, and it's in all the sports. There's one way they go by, of course, who has the best stats. That'd be the main thing. Like, look at the stats. Who have the best stats, of course. And speaking of stats, let's go and compare the stats. They look by the best stats. So Allisha Gray, right now she's averaging 18 points per game. She's also had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal per game, shooting 39% from 3, which is very good, and 45% from the field. So that's her average right now. And the team record, of course, is 24-13. Look at A'ja Wilson, 23 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 1 steal as well, shooting 49% from the field, 32% from 3-point line, and 85% from the free throw line. Team record is 25-14. And also, Atlanta Dream and Aces do play each other today, so that should be some heavy implications on the playoff season in the long run. And then you look at, of course, the HeatCulture. The HeatCulture stats: 23 points per game, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal per game. She's shooting 37% from 3, 54% from the field. And then you look at, of course, Alyssa Thomas. She's averaging 15 points per game, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 55% from the field goal range. And she's not a 3-point shooter. She don't shoot threes like that at all. I don't think she really attempt that many. I think she might attempt like 1, maybe every 10 games or something. But most other plays that inside. She's not really the best shooter, but she can drive to the rim. And she plays like how Ben Simmons should play. Ben Simmons, when he used to play when he was averaging 16. He's scoring 16, 8, and 8 when he was like a triple-double machine and playing great defense and playmaking. And then I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened. Like, at the rest of that playoff loss he had against the Atlanta Hawks, he's not been the same. So she plays like how Ben Simmons should play. Ben Simmons was a 2-time All-Star, All-NBA player, All-Defensive player, I think, as well. And I don't know what happened. He just fell off. But that's how she plays, like that. Not really the best shooter, but she can still get to the rim and play, make, and do things. And he put triple doubles. So that's the stats right there for everybody. And the team record, of course, is 23-14. So the Phoenix Mercury, the Atlanta Dream, and the Aces are all around the same range. They like one game apart that separates all those teams, of course. And then the HeatCulture, of course, her Lynx are up there. They clinched they're the first team to clinch a playoff spot, and they're 30-7 right now. So if you're going based off of stats, the HeatCulture has the best stats. You looking at, of course, her and A'ja Wilson got similar numbers, but the HeatCulture field goal percentages and 3-point percentage is higher, and free throw percentage is higher. Like that, her efficiency is higher. And if you're going based off records, like some people look at records, like kind of like in all sports, like I mentioned before. You look at football. Remember Lamar Jackson last year had 41 touchdowns thrown and rushed for 900 yards and had 4,000 passing yards and highest passer rating, but they went by, I guess, a little record. Josh Allen had a better record and a higher seeding, so they gave it to Josh Allen like that little bit. So if they're going by records and giving it to based off records, then you look at the Minnesota Lynx, same thing. So in my opinion, I think the Fisher Collier is still MVP. Now I would love to see A'ja Wilson win the fourth one. She already have 3. She won one last year. Could be another back-to-back one because she won back-to-back before MVPs. So it'd be great to see her win the fourth one, but I think most likely it's going to be Fisher Collier because the team record and also the individual stats as well. She has both like that, and like she's not getting outscored, and she's shooting efficiently. She's playing both sides of the ball as well. So I think she'll probably finish as your MVP. Now let's move on, of course, to the next topic, which is, of course, the NBA potentially having a lockout. Now we've been seeing a lot of stuff about this, of course. I think that negotiation is around like I believe it's around the time where like October 31st, they be talking about the lockout potentially happening. They've been looking to get a better deal, of course, trying to get more percentage of what the revenue is coming in. And a lot of people always mix it up too. So they don't have any revenue. I'm like, they do have revenue. The revenue wasn't that high. I think the revenue was like 40 million something. I think 45 million of the last deal, which is the last year of this deal, is 45 million. And they probably spend about 80 million of course a year. So I think they're losing $40 million this year. But with the new deal that's coming in, it's $2.2 billion and it's 11 years, and they have an option to renegotiate like a year 7 or something. That right there is going to give them no profit actually like that next year, especially if the net loss stays similar, where it's 40 to $50 million. They're gonna give them profit like that because they're gonna be getting like 240 million around that range yearly like that. So they're gonna be good profit for them. So we'll see how things kind of shape out, of course, for them. But right now that the players only get 9.3%, I think, of the revenue that comes in, and looking to maybe bring that up. Because I think the lowest, I think the average salary is like around 65,000, 66,000, around that range. If you was to give them from 9.3% to maybe double that to 18.6% of the revenue, it can double that to 6 figures like that. So as the average salary, of course, and they make it easier too. I see a lot of different things that been happening. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of things that go to the negotiation table with the CBA. The back-to-back games, which shouldn't happen. We're seeing back-to-back game happen. So some fans, some fans don't care. They be saying stuff because they hate the WNBA for some reason. They be saying stuff like, "Yo, you gotta play." I'm like, but there's no reason to play back-to-back games when you only have 44 games to play. There's no reason to play back-to-back. Now, if you had 82 games, it'd be a different story. But there's no reason to play back-to-back games because, first of all, the players really don't get as much break time, really, because you look at the off season, like take for example Paige Buckers. She played deep playoff run with the college of that, and then you see her right after they won the national championship, she get in the draft. I think like a week later, and then after the draft, you go to practice, and then a little bit later, the season starts. So it's like you never get time to, and she got injured too this year. You never get a chance to really just be chill or like that, anything. And especially when the players play more games, they do all this extra stuff, back-to-back games, it's not going to work out too well. So they're going to probably bring that to negotiation as well. Also, some of the network stuff, I still don't understand why the NBA does this too as well. Like they play so many games at the same time, like big time games at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, why are you playing 2 games at the same time? It's kind of foolish. Like the NBA was doing that with the playoff games. You'll see one playoff game played and they'll play another one right at the same time. It doesn't make sense. So I hope they fix that too as well as part of the new deal or something like the NFL does it perfectly. NFL is probably the most popular sport in the world like that, get the most views like that. I think one NFL game outdid the NBA finals like that. So the NFL does very good because they go out there and they had a playoff, it's like a big atmosphere. When you watch the playoff game, maybe you focus on one game, one wild card game, and then you wait, and then you get to the next game after that game ends like that. It's not like where you gotta keep switching back and forth and stuff. So it'll be a lot of things they gotta negotiate, but in my opinion, yeah, if they doubled it, find a way to get them to double it from 9.3% to 18.6%, it'd be cool. And I feel like the shirts they had at the All-Star game was kind of wrong. They said, pay us what you owe us. They don't really owe you anything. I feel like you should put on the shirt, pay us what we got you, because without the players, they would never got that $2.2 billion deal. I feel like NIL had a big time help in that in college, because you look at some of these college players that are coming out. Like, for example, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Paige Buckers, the fandom they come with out of college to bring in. And you see how the ratings spike. It's been years. They said with Angel Reese, Paige Buckers, Caitlin Clark, all the big time stars that came out of college who had big time names in college, got to the WNBA. This year's the first time I think it said the WNBA has broke the record for most tickets sold in a season, which was I think the record they had. It was held since 2005 or something like that. 2005, 2004 or something. It was like around that range. So that tells you what you need to tell you right there, that the new surge of young athletes who already can market themselves in college. They can market themselves in college with all these NIL deals. You got these commercials, shoe deals already in college, and you can translate and bring that in. Like Killen Clark, Angel Reese has more followers than the NBA and a lot of the teams, and so as well, and a lot of the star players as well entering the league. Paige Becker, same thing. So a lot of these big stars coming in with all that. And then Juju Watkins, when she pops in, I don't know, maybe not this coming year, but maybe the year after, it's gonna be the same thing like that. So a lot of stars are coming in, of course, and bringing more surges to stuff. So I feel like the shirts they should have wear would say, "Pay us what we got you," because that $2.2 billion deal wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for those young stars, and of course some of those the veteran stars as well, like the Asia Wilsons and stuff, the ones who've been putting in that work, and the Fisher Colliers and all those as well, put in the work, of course, to bring more stardom to the league and more eyes to the league as well. That's why David Stern, it took the NBA 40 years, I think, to get profitable, start making money and stuff a big time, because they started doing something smart. They said, you know what, let's start marketing the players. Let's go out there and market these players, let's market these rivalries, let's market these players and get them out there so then people can make them like kind of feel like they larger in life type style. Kind of like how wrestling do. The wrestling does with marketing, like how they market like John Cena, or you see like an MJF or Kenny Omega or Roman Reigns. Like you see how they market those wrestlers, they like make them like they larger than life. That's what the basketball started doing with the rivalries and like the storylines, creating everything, and it made everything spectacular. And that's how you build yourself up. That's what the NBA been doing for the past few years, and now you see it more and more. Success is coming like that. So I feel like they definitely warranted to get some more money like that. They can try to, hopefully they can double it to make it from 9.3% to 18.6%, or maybe get to 20%, 25%. If you can get up there, it'd be even better like that. And then work yourself to get into that level where you maybe get 50-50, maybe like 20, 30 years down the line like that. So we'll see how things shape out. But moving on to the next topic, which I want to discuss, of course, is about Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, of course, we see him. I think I see him playing on the yacht. He's playing basketball on the yacht. Russell Westbrook's name is still circulating around because he's still a veteran, free agent. Future Hall of Famer. We know what he brings to the table. He did a pretty solid job with the Nuggets, but he parted ways with them. So the Kings, Bulls, and Bucks are three teams that people think that he could possibly land on. So we'll see if Russ can land somewhere to be a viable team. I would like to see Russell Westbrook win a championship. Now with the Bulls, you might not have a chance, or the Kings, but with the Bucks, he could probably have a chance. I think he emerged well, the veteran presence there with Giannis, and how everything goes. It possibly could work. So we'll have to see what happens with that. He's seeing, of course, a lot of the trade rumors about Lauri Markkanen being get traded somewhere to the Warriors. I've seen that one time, the Warriors. Seeing him get traded to the Pistons, and the rumor as well. I think the Pistons one probably the best bet because that young core and that team is like amping up at the right time. It's gonna be pretty good to see them like go out there and see what they do. Just try to see if they try to bring a championship back or something. So we'll see. I would hope my Heat make a move for like a Lauri Markkanen, but it ain't gonna happen. Probaly is still asleep. But we'll see what happens, of course, throughout this season. It's gonna be an interesting season because I really don't know who's gonna win, who's favored. You know what I mean? It's some teams that they say favored it. Of course, the Thunder, of course, as like the reigning champions. But looking at the East, I feel like the East is wide open. East is wide open for anybody. Celtics has some injury issues with Jason Tatum. I don't know if he's gonna be. He's out the boot now, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to play this season. Now you have to see. And then look at my Heat. Our team was around that limbo range, but the Magic, I think, is getting to pass this. The Pistons has surpassed us as well. The Bucks still have Giannis and all that. They added Miles Turner and got some pieces, of course, there. So I feel like the East is wide open. Then you look at the West, of course. The West, of course, Thunder. But then you look at that, Lakers. Look at Doncic getting in shape and everything going well. Timberwolves as well. So there's some things. I think some teams over there that are gonna mix some things up. The Mavericks, they stay healthy. They'd be very good. And Kyrie Irving, I don't know if he's gonna come back with maybe around the 25th game, the 26th, 27th game or something around that range, the 30th game. But they stay healthy. They can be a nice team too. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Let me move on to the last topic of this video. Okay, this video a little long, but it's okay. You can play this video while you're running or something like that in the background. But the last topic is something I've seen that just look fun and interesting to talk about. I seen that they did the 21st century Mount Rushmore of each team. Oh, okay, it's interesting. I seen on Bleacher Report, so let's go through and dive through and see. Okay, starting off first, they got the Atlanta Hawks. They have Al Horford, Trey Young, Joe Johnson, Paul Millsap. Yeah, that's perfect. Cal Korver was cool too, but I feel like those guys they have on the list was all-star level guys. So that's perfect for that. Now moving on next, they have the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Tatum. Okay. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, that's perfect too. Okay, Mount Rushmore for the Brooklyn Nets. You gotta have Jason Kidd on. Yep, Jason Kidd, Brook Lopez, Richard Jefferson, Vince Carter. This is 21st century, so don't somebody say, what about the 90s? Not the 90s, 21st century. So you got Vince Carter, Richard Jefferson, Jason Kidd, Brook Lopez. Darren Williams, remember he was good. He was good too as well at that, but I don't think he was only there for had like a little bit. But Jason Kidd did help them get to the finals like that before a few times, so he definitely got to be on the list. Then you look at, of course, the Hornets. They have LaMelo Ball, Al Jefferson, Kemba Walker, Gerald Wallace. That's interesting. On the Bulls, Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Joakim Noah, and Luol Deng. Yeah, I can see that being it too as well. Jimmy Butler might be on the list twice actually, because the Heat as well probably. Cavaliers, they got LeBron, of course. LeBron been on this list probably 2 or 3 times. They got LeBron, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and Igaskis. Okay. Dallas Mavericks, Dirk, Jason Terry, Luka Doncic, Dwight Powell. What about Tyson Chandler? Tyson Chandler was there for a little bit, but they got, I don't know. They want based off of longevity and stuff. But I'm about Dwight Powell. Yeah, he's not really a star player, so but I don't know. They might have to change him out for somebody else. Put somebody else in there. Even maybe put a guy in there that haven't been there. Put Kyrie Irving in there. He hasn't been there that long, but he did more than what Dwight Powell did. Okay, different Nuggets. They got Jokic, Carmelo Anthony, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. On Detroit Pistons, they have Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace. Golden State Warriors, they have Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andre Iguodala. Now Kevin Durant did do some amazing things there, but I don't know if he'd be a Mount Rushmore 21st century for for them, because he was only there for 2 years. 2-3 years. And then Houston Rockets, you got James Harden, Yao Ming, Clint Capella, Shane Battier. Pacers, Paul George, Tyrese Halliburton, Jermaine O'Neal, Miles Turner. Clippers, Chris Paul, of course, CP3, Blake Griffin, Dennis Jordan, Jamal Crawford. Los Angeles Lakers, you got Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Paul Gasol, and Derek Fisher. Memphis, I'll probably take out. You possibly could finesse and put LeBron in there. Actually, I ain't gonna lie. You probably could put LeBron in there, because Derek Fisher, he did do some as a role player, did some good things, of course, as well, like that, and helped out a lot. But you could possibly finesse and put LeBron in there. Memphis Grizzlies, we got Mike Conley, Zach Randolph, Zebo. You got Mark Gasol, then you got, of course, Tony Allen. Miami Heat, you got Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Okay, I would think they would put like Shaq there, but Shaq was only there for a little bit, so probably why. So yeah, I guess that can work. So Jimmy Butler been on the list, and Jimmy and LeBron on the list twice. Bucks, you got Giannis, Lopez, Chris Middleton, and Michael Red. And then you got, of course, Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett on the list again. And you got Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, Kevin Love. The Pelicans, Mount Rushmore, you got Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, David West, Zion Williamson. If Zion Williamson can stay healthy, he'd be phenomenal. Super phenomenal. Carmelo Anthony, Jalen Bronson, Allen Houston, Julius Randle is the New York Knicks Mount Rushmore they have on the list. Oklahoma City Thunder. You have, of course, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nick Collison. I'm surprised Nick Collison's on it. Yeah, Nick Collison. Yeah. He didn't win MVP, but he's on there. But I guess it's all right. Because he was there for a while like that. That's why a lot of people say, oh, he was there for a long time. So, Nick Collison was there for years. So I guess they gave him just a little notch or something like that. But we're going based off of, some stuff. They one day Jalen Williams or Chet or somebody like that, we're going to replace him on that list. Orlando Magic, you got Dwight Howard, Tracy McGrady, Jameer Nelson, Nikola Vucevic. 76ers, you got Allen Iverson, Joel Embiid, Andre Iguodala, Thaddeus Young. Andre Iguodala been on this list twice as well. You have the Suns, you have Steve Nash, Devin Booker, Sean Marion, and Amari Stoudemire. Trailblazers, Damian Lillard, LaMarcus Aldridge, Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy, if his knees could hold up, man, he'd been nice. And CJ McCollum. And then you have on the Sacramento Kings, you have Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Mike Bibby, Pejas I can never say his last name. Pejas, y'all know the three-point specialist. Peja, who's played for the Kings. And then San Antonio Spurs, you have Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard, which was a championship team before as well. And they beat the Heat in 2014. Toronto Raptors, you have Vince Carter, DeMar DeRozan, Kawhi Leonard, who only played 1 year there, but he gave them their first and only championship. And you got Kyle Lowry. And then you have Utah Jazz, Rudy Gobert, Carlos Boozer, Darren Williams. And then you got Andrei Karkolenko. Can't never say his last name either, but you know what I'm talking about. I know who it is. And then you have on the Wizards, last but not least, you have Gilbert Arenas, John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Antoine Jameson. So that is the Mount Rushmore they had. And some of those people I agree with, but some of the stuff I was like, okay, maybe going based off of like legacy of the person being there. Because some of the people be like, that man only averaged 5 points per game. He shouldn't be on the Mount Rushmore. But I guess they go on based off 21st century of them being there long term. But yeah, but that's all I have for this video. It's a long video, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you didn't like, subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys probably next week. We'll have some the hype video, game picks, of course, coming next week before game day. All the cool stuff for the NFL first week. So be on the lookout for that. Live stream as well on Thursday. Eagles, Cowboys, and Steelers live stream on Sunday. Steelers, Jets. So be on the lookout for all of that. But I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace out.